Here's how to run a quick feasibility to figure out whether this commercial value add deal is worth pursuing. This is one of our typical feasibility templates. What we're trying to determine here is whether there's any upside, and if there is any upside, how much is it going to cost for us to realize the upside. Okay, so first of all, we'll look at rents. We'll look at current rents and potential rents. So in this particular case, the current rent is about $370,000, but potential rents somewhere between $555,000 to $557,000. So obviously there's an obvious upside in terms of rent. So if we can buy this property for $6 million, with the rental increase, the property might be worth over $9 million. So certainly there is a clear upside potential here. So the second question is how much is it going to cost to realize this upside, and that's where the feasibility comes in. So we take into consideration your purchasing costs, stamp duties, etc., your holding costs and your leasing costs, and any potential capex or repairs or maintenance. And we put that all together, and then we can use some assumptions that we can determine what the likely profit margin is. So in this case, this looks like it's got about a 32% profit margin, which is pretty good. Now let me show you another example. Okay, how about this property? So in this property, the current rent is at around $238,000, and the potential rent is somewhere around $292,000. So there's a little bit of upside there. So if we can buy this property for $4 million, after the rental uplift, the property's gonna be worth somewhere around $4.8 to $5 million. Yep, so there's a little bit of uplift here, but let's see how much it's going to cost us to realize this uplift and see whether the profitability is worth it at all. Okay, so if we're going to wait 1.5 years, we can see that following the same logic, it only gives us a profit margin of about 9%. Okay, so 9% compared to the other one, which is at 32%, well, clearly the 32% is better. But hold on. What happens if we look at it a longer time period? Okay, so this particular property we're looking at right now, if we project it out 4 years, it looks like we're gonna have a much better upside. So in 4 years' time, when we can apply 2 rental increases, it looks like we're gonna sit on a profit margin of about 33%, which is very similar to the first building we looked at. So which one is the better deal? The deciding factor is gonna be how long it's gonna take to realize the upside. So on the first deal that we looked at, it's a 2-year project, around 32% profit margin. And then the second deal, it's either gonna be a 9% with a 1.5 year turnaround, or a 33% with a 4-year turnaround. So I will probably suggest that the first deal we look at is probably the one that's gonna make more profit, the one that stacks up a little bit more. Now, if you want to learn on how to effectively analyze and do feasibilities on all commercial properties, then definitely hit the link below.